And welcome back to Travel Michigan. I'm George Zimmerman along with Michelle Binoche, and we're heading out to the islands. We're doing a little island hopping next, Michelle.
I love it. We're talking with Steve West, Executive Director of Beaver Island Chamber of Commerce. And Steve, October in Beaver Island sounds like a pretty exciting place to be.
Well, it sure is, and it's a pretty beautiful place to be, too, if I might say so. The fall colors up here are fantastic, and quite frankly, we're thinking they're going to peak for our Bite of Beaver Island weekend coming up in early October.
Yep, that's like October 6th. And so what is that event about? What happens on?
Well, it's kind of an all-day Saturday event. I like to call it run in the morning and feed in the afternoon. We have a 5K called the Beaver Island Boodle 5K. And all the income from that goes to support our sports boosters at our school, Beaver Island School. And then from 12 to 3, that the Boodles in the morning, and then from 12 to 3, we have the Bite of Beaver Island Food Festival.
Ah.
My favorite part of the day.
Yeah.
For those that like to eat, it's hard to beat. And I'm one of those. I don't do as much running as I should, but I do plenty of feeding. And the Bite of Beaver Island features professional and amateur chefs from all over Beaver Island coming together to offer small portions of their specialty fare.
Ah, that's great. Now, for folks who, I'm sure there are a lot of listeners who have never even been to Beaver Island, so tell us a little bit about, where it is, how you get there, but mostly about what the experience is like. Well,
Beaver Island is the largest inhabited island in Lake Michigan, and what I like to say is that we're a real island. We're 32 miles north of Charlevoix, and that's where we're served from by the Beaver Island Boat Company and by Fresh Air Aviation and Island Airways, 2 air carriers and the ferry company.
Yep.
And that's how you get to Beaver Island. You start in Charlevoix. In fact, we did a little radio program of part of your Pure Michigan thing with Charlevoix about where Beaver Island's mentioned, and that's where the kicking off point is. And there's about 650 people that live here year-round. It's a big island. It's 58 square miles.
Okay.
And it's kind of different from that other island experience. People are always asking, of course, that other island is better known, and people they ask, well, how is Beaver Island different? And I say, well, there's no such thing as Beaver Island fudge, and we keep our horses in the field where they belong.
Well, I guess we'll keep that other island nameless, just given the tensions there.
It's a great island. It's a wonderful theme park, and they are one of our primary adversaries in school sports. And that's interestingly enough, the Boodle 5K, the income supports the sports boosters. Part of that money goes to help fly our kids back and forth to their games.
Okay, sure.
It's a little harder to get to the basketball game when you live on an island.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I can see that.
And Mackinac is one of our great competitors.
There you go. So now the ferry that's car ferry, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. You can have cars here, and
yes.
In fact, our ferry boat's 130 feet long.
Okay.
I like to call it a miniature cruise ship. I mean, it's a pretty good sized boat.
Yep. And so then, when folks get there, what's the experience like?
Well, it's a little more relaxed and laid back than typical places like Mackinac Island, which
sure.
is really a wonderful place. I don't really mean to run it down. It's a wonderful place, but Beaver Island's a little more easygoing. Okay,
Yep.
We have a small golf course, a few shops and stores, several nice restaurants, including one that's world class, and then we also have a great foot-long coney dog. So. Kind of got everything in between. But about 40% of Beaver Island is state land or conservancy land in its pristine natural state.
Yep.
So, and there's great fishing, great hunting in the fall, bird watching, trail walking. Beaver Island is an ecotourism outdoor experience.
Yeah, and so obviously, for a lot of folks, it'd be a ways up there if they're coming from Southeast Michigan or Southwest. And so where do people stay on the island?
Well, there's a number of different places to stay, and they're all shown on our website, beaverisland.org.
Mm-hmm.
That's the place of where you can get all the information, and it's not expensive. You can get overnight rooms for under $100, even in the middle of the summer.
Well, that's great.
Not only that, you can rent a house on Lake Michigan for $800 to $1,000 again in the summer. So the little bit you pay to get here is more than recovered in reasonable prices.
Well, and Steve, you mentioned the work we've done together with the partnership and marketing of Beaver Island with Pure Michigan, and I know that's been I hope that's been helpful for you and for.
Oh, yeah, listen, fantastic! I can't say enough for your Pure Michigan campaign. We have our own marketing campaign here. In fact, that's our chamber's whole mission is to market Beaver Island, but. The Pure Michigan campaign has just been fantastic. I'm a great viewer of cable news, and I see all those spots, and some of those spots kind of cause you to tear up a little bit. You guys have done a wonderful job. And it's probably the best investment I've seen government ever make.
Well,
just my kudos all the way around for you and your team.
Well, thanks. Appreciate that. And one thing we've heard from other parts of the industry in the state is, and just wonder if you're seeing this too, is that they are seeing more and more visitors from out of state, and in many cases from more distant markets than they've seen in the past. Have you seen any of that?
Oh yes, absolutely. We, going back when I first started my job here, which was a little more than a decade ago. Beaver Island was pretty exclusively Michigan, and now we're much more regional.
Okay.
We're starting to see people from all around the region. Plus, I'm talking to somebody from New York the other day that said, I saw one of those Pure Michigan ads on TV the other day. So, I used to just fly over that place.
Yeah.
Well, fly over. We are fly over. But, he was seriously thinking, maybe this would be a good place to go. A little different than New York City, huh?
Yeah, I would think. I think that's a different experience. So, now, as far as visitors, do you get visitors year-round?
Yes, we do. Not as year-round as much as we would like.
Right.
We work hard on the shoulder seasons because Beaver Island has a tendency to list to starboard a little bit in July and August.
Right.
But it's particularly beautiful in the fall. Usually our fall colors peak a little later than the mainland because we are influenced by the relatively warmer lake waters in the fall. But this year, because it's been a dry summer, I'm thinking we're going to peak right around our October 6th event weekend.
Right. Which would be a great time. And again, for those who have not been to Beaver Island, what better time to do it?
Absolutely.
Than next, which is Saturday, October 6th, next Saturday. So plan to come up there and maybe spend a couple days and check out some of those accommodations you're talking about too.
Absolutely.
And eat some food.
And right, because the event is the Bite of Beaver Island.
The Bite of Beaver Island and the Island Boodle 5K.
Exactly.
And it's a real easy going thing. You get a T-shirt if you sign up in advance, and we have people walk the 5K with their dogs. We have people that take their kids in a stroller on the 5K. This is not a marathon.
No. not if you're walking your dog. It's not. No. Well, that sounds great. So, again, the website is beaverisland.org. That's the information on this event next Saturday. But obviously, any time would be a great time to visit Beaver Island, but that would be a special one. So be sure to check that out. Thanks to you, Steve West, Executive Director of the Beaver Island Chamber of Commerce. So that's a great event happening next Saturday. That's beaverisland.org for more info. But, Michelle, as we know, there are many other events going on all over the state.
Many, many events. And as we head into October, it's Lights, Cameras, Action at the Blue Water Film Festival, September 3rd through 6th in Port Huron. And this film festival emphasizes local filmmakers, screenwriters, and actors. And I actually attended this last year, and it really was a great event. And if there's a restaurant in Detroit you've been dying to try, here's your chance. Detroit Restaurant Week is being held now through October 7th, and you can enjoy a 3-course meal for $30 at 17 fine dining locations across the city. So it's a great opportunity to get out and explore Detroit's great food scene. And speaking of food, John, I might butcher this. Scherendorf Dairy in Allegan is hosting Breakfast on the Farm October 6th, and the event will include tours of the farm, learn how to milk a cow, pet a calf, all of those fun activities. And
you have to learn how to pet a calf?
Well, you have to, maybe if it's a mean one.
Okay. Obviously a city girl, yes.
My grandpa would be rolling over right now in his grave. Old Town Lansing hosts Oktoberfest October 5th through 6th, featuring live polka and German fare, or you can head up to Frankenmuth, Michigan's Little Bavaria, for a night of beer, wine, and snack sampling at the Wine and Stein event being held October 4th. And for a truly unique way to experience Michigan's fall colors, take a trip on the Fall Color Tour train excursion through the Steam Railroading Institute. Enjoy quaint towns and the blaze of trees during Michigan fall with round-trip excursions from Owasso to Clare October 6th and Owasso to Alma October 20th. So for all this and many more fun fall activities in Michigan, visit michigan.org.
Of course, all of those things are there at michigan.org. Coming up next, we're going to talk about some new trail maps that'll help you find those great trail locations all over the state. So that's what our next stop is going to be here on Travel Michigan, where your trip does begin, of course, at michigan.org.